Friends, welcome back to Mini Kit Monday. So in my kit reveal, I showed you that I'm going to be using this really cool cork pattern paper. It's not super thick, but it is thick enough to be a background, and it's got a giant target. And I'm going to be using this photo right here. This is a photo of my son, and he's at a gun range, and a fellow at the gun range let him try out this gun. I don't know what it is. I just know it's supposed to be cool in the gun world. No idea. So he played with that and he thought it was nifty and all that kind of stuff. Woohoo. Anywho, but look at how great it is with this pattern paper. I'm kind of excited about it. So I'm going to go ahead and figure out what else I'm going to do, because most of my kit is kind of pretty. So I'm going to figure out how to make this, you know, your everyday gun layout, and we'll go from there. Like I said, so much of my kit's pretty, so I'm going to have a fun little challenge with this and see where it takes me. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward the next bits and take you along with me. Here we go. Okie dokie. So I'm working primarily with this fabulous collection by Jen Hadfield that I picked up at Tuesday morning. And I love the fall colors. I love the, you can have the floral touches, but you have this really nice saturation in the product. The stickers mirror what's on the chipboard sheet if you're thinking about getting one or the other, as well as the die cut pack. They're all pretty darn similar, and they're similar in size, so that's kind of fun. So you can have, you know, like duplicated elements and all that kind of thing. But if you're trying to watch your pennies a little bit, you can definitely just get away with the die cut pack or the sticker pack and pop it up with some foam dots. Nice and easy. So the first couple things I grabbed is I loved this wood grain deer head, and I liked the idea of that being in the upper right corner. No reason why. My son's not a hunter, so it really means nothing. I just liked it. The next thing I liked was the thermos and the coffee cup, because that seemed fitting for this day. And what else can I tell you about that? Okay, so that was my thought process to start. I'm going to go ahead and map my photo on the back of a piece of paper I've used previously in this series. I just needed a little bit of white, and I've been using the back of one-sided pieces of paper to do that. Now, I know that for a lot of people it's like, how could you use it when you have a pattern paper on the one side? And long and short of it is, there's always going to be more paper. There's always going to be the next collection that I love so much, and it's going to be the best collection ever till I like the next one. And, you know, quite frankly, I get less white scraps just sitting in my scrap box or in my scrap drawer. So that is kind of the way I went with it. I started doing that earlier this year, and it's really been great. For some reason, I've really enjoyed it. So absolutely tiny win. So I went ahead and tried to mat it on this pretty gorgeous piece of distressed brown and white paper, and of course it takes me forever to get it even. I don't know why. All right, so that's finally sorted out, and I just went ahead and popped it up on a little bit of Frankenstein fun foam. I get the kind that's adhesive on one side just to make things easier for me. And then I decided I have this really great washi tape booklet that's by Jen Hadfield, and I'm going to go ahead and make the washi tape kind of a prominent part of my layout in two different areas. So what I'm going to do is create a shelf for my photo in this area with a few of the washi tapes, and then the leftover bits I will go ahead and put on the top for a shelf for where that deer head's going to go, like that. And I'm going to go ahead and layer up a few, and I really liked the way this went because I actually used a lot of the washi. All right, so those are all straightened out and they're put on there, and seriously, the washi pieces that I put on the upper right where the deer head is, it is just the leftovers. And aside from a quick wraparound, I just left them at the size that they are. There you see that foam, fun foam that I put on, and no, it's not all the way to the sides, but it is just enough to give it some lift. And I also knew that I was going to have that chipboard thermos as well as the chipboard cup kind of tucked under the sides of it. So I wanted to make sure that it wouldn't run into the fun foam. Do you know what I mean with that? Okay. So there is that. And then I really like that wood grain arrow as well. Pretty much I like all wood grain. Now these are really, really pretty labels, but I'm wanting to include labels on my layouts. There's these different product focuses that I get myself into, and labels are one of them. So it's a beautiful set, but I have to watch the how pretty it is kind of thing, because I'm trying to make this a gun range layout, and usually not a super pretty kind of a subject. It's built into a hill, and there's dirt, and yes, there's targets and all that kind of stuff. But I do have this gorgeous hello word on here, and it's funny, I'm like, all right, so what else do you end up doing for your title? Now this ended up being kind of a hello layout. I have the big hello word, I have the hello washi in a couple different places, and I will keep just playing around with that because I have a thing for the repeating elements. So I'm taking a look and seeing what I can come up with a title with my remaining thickers and separate letters and all that kind of stuff. So I did end up just going with hello my boy on this, and now I'm looking at these jelly bean soup. I have jelly bean soup labels as well as some old Freckle Fawn ones, and I'm seeing what works. And wood grain for me works with absolutely every layout I think I have ever done. I need all of the wood grain. Anywho, as you can see, I have a wood grain deer head, and I think it's wood grain style washi as well as the label. My cute little arrow as well. I'm using another arrow from the jelly bean soup. I think it's jelly bean soup, those labels. And these are this great set of Jen Hadfield small word stickers. I'm going to use a couple of those. I mean, they do have that really great blush pink color, but they also have some of the deeper colors. Jen Hadfield does that a lot in her collections. That makes it so that you can really work with a number of different topics with your products, which for me, that is a great win. I don't end up being able to use those great jelly bean soup little epoxy shapes. The colors were just a little bit off, so I have them up there because I know I'm going to look at them next. I do that a lot in scrapbooking, that while I'm using something, I have the next product that I want to take a look through, and it lets my mind just kind of free think about what I might want to do with it, and it makes some of my decision making go that much quicker. See right there, you can see that I decided that wouldn't work. Now I have this very large amount of these brown sequins. Are all the same size, all the same finish and all of that. So I'm going to get a few of them on. They're just from the Target dollar spot, I'd say 3 or 4 years ago. So it's the never ending, really pretty brown sequins, but when you only use 3 or 6 or whatever it is at a time, they're going to be around a little while unless I get going with some kind of a large shaker pocket kind of a thing. I need to do that with my sequins. They're growing too much. So I have those sprinkled here and there. It's adding a little bit of shine, but in the brown, it's still like subdued enough that it's not sparkly. And I was testing out a Nuvo drop. I usually do that every time I go ahead to use Nuvo to make sure that the flow is coming out of the bottle just fine. And that's just a nice opaque Nuvo in white. So it's going to go ahead and very nicely mimic, enamel dots. I'm tapping my paper to get that little kind of like Dairy Queen, like curly Q that can happen at the top of Nuvo, and that works pretty well for me to get that little bit down. So I'll leave the links below for the rest of the Mini Kit Monday group. They are, we have such a fun group, and they're some of the nicest ladies I've ever met, and we have such a good time chatting along and being pals in our little group. And I think that it comes across how great the ladies are in their layouts. So go take a look and see what they've come up with this week. I've gone ahead and added on some wood veneer. This is a set from, it's a jelly bean soup set that I picked up at Tuesday morning. All right, that's it today. Thanks so much for watching. We'll talk to you guys all soon. Bye-bye now.